the similar one that I gave a couple weeks back, but I incorporated your feedback, uh, all the feedbacks that I got last time. So I'm still gonna share the story about deceptive titles with you, just like in the last one. I'm gonna give you an example, and then I'm gonna tell you what to do with those titles. In the a few weeks ago, in the last speech, I gave an example of Orange County, how the counties that never had oranges decided to pick orange as its name just because they wanted to get some tourists in here. Not just the tourists, but all the different people who immigrated from East Coast. Title, it was very interesting because people heard orange and they decided to come here because they assumed it's the perfect climate and they started to grow oranges. So even though the title is mm, deceptive in the beginning, it proved itself perfectly. Now, in today's example, what I would like to uh, talk about is not the Orange County, but a different place. And it's far, far away from here. To get to this place, you're going to need to take days on foot or a few hours on the car. I'm talking about downtown Los Angeles, specifically about a building in there, One Wilshire. Wilshire Boulevard. It goes all the way from downtown to Santa Monica. It's one of the busiest streets in LA area. It goes through multiple cities, and not only it's busy with just businesses, it's also in some of its parts, it's pretty densely packed. A lot of people live in there. And in downtown Los Angeles, we have a building called One Wilshire. Remember, I'm talking about deceptive titles. One Wilshire, the building that pretty much at a stays at a T intersection over here, and the Wilshire Boulevard goes here. One Wilshire, that's where Wilshire starts. Not really. The Wilshire Boulevard starts with a building 100 Wilshire in Santa Monica. The Wilshire Boulevard ends in downtown Los Angeles, right in front of One Wilshire. So Wilshire Boulevard goes here with a bunch of buildings on the left and the right, and One Wilshire is here on Grand Avenue. Not only the building has is not in the beginning of Wilshire Boulevard, it has nothing to do with that. It's not on it at all. If you look at that skyscraper, it's about 30 floors high, and uh, what the building has is about 1/4 of the building overlooks the Wilshire Boulevard. That's it. Now, what's also interesting is it's an office building. Is it? I mean, we already looked and found out that it's not on the Wilshire. It's not on the beginning of Wilshire. So let's dig deeper. Let's dig into the official documents. Official documents say that yes, it is an office building. That's how it's zoned for. And if you're going over there in the evening and looking at the building with 30 stories building with more than 300 tenants in it, you're going to see that there's maybe like light in about 5 offices at most. If you go inside that building and you're going to look into the other offices, if you walk into the room, what you're going to find is the window in that office is completely plastered to make sure that no sunlight gets in, so it won't heat up the building. The AC will go loud, and so will the servers. That's it. That's the whole building. There may be about 5 offices, but 30 floors in that building is just servers and telecommunication equipment. What's interesting about it is the significance of the building itself. The building, even though it stands at the very end of Wilshire Boulevard, it's one of the most important communication hubs, not just in the States, but in North America. is what connects North America to Asia. About 1/3 of all communication goes through this building. Those 300 tenants, Google, Netflix, Amazon Web Services, even China Telecom and federal government. All they do over there is they have telecommunication equipment. So the interesting part about it, and that's where I'm going to deceptive titles, is when you're going through downtown LA and you're looking at the building, you think that's where the Wilshire Boulevard starts. And you think that it's a very important building with lots of offices and lots of lawyers and accountants are running through it. Titles are funny, but what's more interesting is the history behind them. That's why with Orange County or One Wilshire or any other title, it doesn't necessarily tell you what's behind it. That's why I always encourage you to look into the story of what is behind the title and what the values the actual object brings to the table. And that's it for my speech. And thank you very much.